Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'll be working on Tableau software. So in this video I'll be showing you how to create a very common visual in Tableau. It's called the text table. It's somewhat similar to pivot tables in Excel, but it has its own pros and cons. So first let's get started by connecting to a data set. So I come here to the data tab and I click on new data source. The shortcut for that is Control D, and mine is a Microsoft Excel file that I'll be connecting with the Global Superstore V2. And once you connected this, I've got 3 sheets in here. I just want to work with the order sheet right now. Just drag it in and you'll see the entire data. This is around 50,000 rows, so it'll take a couple of seconds to load, so give it some time, and it's here. Now once you have this data set, all you have to do is go to sheet 1 at the bottom over here and start working. So now we'll be working with the text table. So for this I need, if you look at the bottom over here, I need one or more dimension and one or more measure. So for example, if I take my segment over here, okay, rather than my segment, let's have my subcategory over here. Okay, so you see my subcategory, not an issue with that. And you see ABC here because I don't have any value that I've put in here. So now let me go down and put in my profit. So once I do that, one second, yeah, once I do that, I'll have my profit over here. Now what I can do is I can maybe put in a segment over here in columns. So I have the subcategory sales for 3 different segments. Now to expand this particular text table, like you can't see the whole consumer, you can't see the full text. All you have to do is press Control right, and then it expands. Press Control down, Control up, it'll expand down below. So I press Control right, as per your convenience, however much space you want between the columns, spacing. So let's say I want the, okay, so this looks good. Now since we have our sales in here, so this is what a normal text table looks like. So as you can see, it's been highlighted over here. Now you have a couple of other options that you can convert this into, but so for example, I could make this into a pie. So I don't want that right now. I could make it into a heat table. I don't want that right now. Column, stacked column, not needed. So let's just stick to what we have here. And now within this, you have a couple of options. So for example, if I was to drag my profit into color, it'll give me a highlight of colors for different amounts. So for example, if you come to the right side of the screen, you've got a nice legend created here. So for example, in this legend, the yellowish orange is the least, so that's negative, and the darker the color, so we have 129, which is a bit darker, 124, which is a bit darker. So now you can change these as well. You can format edit the colors. You can do that from here. So since the legend is created, you could click on the down arrow and click on edit colors, or you could come to the color card here, click on it, click on edit colors, and now click on the drop down over here, automatic, and you have a lot of options over here. You have a lot of options. You can have a temperature diverging. Okay, I like to go with the red with blue one, green blue diverging. I like this one. And now you also have options of having different levels of colors. So if you make it stepped, so it'll be this way. So you could have 10 different colors here, you could have 15 different colors here, so that's up to you. So I usually let it stick to what it is, so that the automatic one, you could have them reversed. You could use the full color range, color range, that get also available. The advanced setting is when you can decide the amount. So for example, let's say you don't want to show the negatives, you don't want to highlight the negatives at all. So what you do is you start at 0. Okay, so now I start at 0, so none of the negatives. So basically in this we just have 3 negatives, and that's in the tables category. So table subcategory is not doing very well. That is quite apparent from here. So now I don't want to highlight the negatives, so I start from zero. My amount my starts from $0. Anything above $0 is what will be highlighted. I click on apply, and as you can see, voila, the colors here. See, so you could try playing around with it, with the colors. You could use the right set of colors, whatever fits for you. You could go back, you could change the colors. No issues. You could have a orange blue diverging, that's also available, so you could have that. Okay, now if we want to look at some of the options that are available here, so yeah, so when you come to analysis, so text table gives you some options. So you could have row totals, row grand totals. Then again you could have a column grand total, which is also cool, depending on what you're working with. Whatever your requirements are, you could have a row totals to the left, column totals to the top, totals all using, you want to sum, average, min, max. You want some calculation that you want to create on your own, you could create a calculated field. You could you can't add a trend line here. So you can have percentage of, so you can have percentage of the entire table. So this is the entire table as a percentage. You could have percentage of column, so that will just show you the percent of each column, whatever is amounting to 100%. So this is the contribution of each subcategory in the consumer segment, in the corporate segment, and in the home office segment, and then to the grand total, all of these three combined. Similarly, you could come back here, you could have the totals of rows. So now you have the three accessories, the subcategory accessory contributing to the consumer segment, corporate, and home office. So as you see, the highest is consumer. So all these subcategories, they contribute highest to the consumer segment, except over here, except in the tables contributes highest in the corporate segment. So you could have that as well, and there are some other options as well that you could play around with, but it depends on what you're working with. Okay, I'll just press Control Z a couple of times and go back to the original table without the grand totals and all. Okay, so now that we're here, so this is how the text table works. You could change the name of the sheet. So you could call it subcategory. Okay, you could call it subcategory. Sales, you could do that. Okay, that can be done. You have the options of changing the font size, font color, making bold, italics, all that is available to you as well. And now if you want, you could also add another dimension to it. So for example, if I want to add my ship mode, so now you see that my ship mode is added. Now you could go back, put it over here. So in Tableau you need to be careful. Okay, you need to be careful because you need to know what to put exactly where. So I just hide this card, it's not needed now. Okay, just reduce the size of this so that it fits in one table, one screen. So I could take out my ship mode, I could have something else here, I could have my region in here, so that would do good as well. It says there are a lot of regions, let's just put it this way. For each you could have that as well, you could have the region as well. If you don't want the region, you could have, what else is there, we've got a market, so we've got a market as well. See, these are basically the continents, or the EU, the Canada, the main markets of the company. Let's stick to ship mode because that's what I'm interested in knowing right now. Once you do that, you could go to the presentation view from here, and this is how it can be presented. As you move your cursor on each of these cells, it shows you segment, it shows you the shipping mode, it talks about the subcategory, and it tells you the profit. Instead of profit, you could have sales as well. So this is how you create a text table. I'll rename this sheet as text table so it's easier for me to have a look at it when I save it. So this is how you create a text table, and like I told you, you could convert this text table into a column chart, into a bar chart, into a stacked column, side by side bars, into a tree map, a heat map, a highlight table, a pack bubble chart, a bullet chart, whatever is highlighted, that all can be done. So if you want that, you could do that as well, whatever suits your requirement. So thank you. I hope you learned something new. Stay tuned for more content on Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, Excel, and PowerPoint. Thank you.